what are the 4 to 7 most important things you have to do on a daily or weekly basis. Hey, welcome to the Tom Ferry Show. Have you ever said things like, I just feel like I'm pulled in so many directions. I don't have any time. I just have so many things that are urgent. Everything right now is a priority, or I just don't know where to start. If you've ever been in that situation or something like that, you're gonna love today's show. Because what I wanna focus on is, how do we regain control of our time, what we do every day to keep our business and our life moving forward. So here's what I wrote down. If you Google right now, controlling time, managing time, you're gonna see millions of videos. You're gonna see lots of debates. You're gonna see science, you're gonna see studies. I would even argue, talking with my son who just finished a Roman study of history, or the great philosophers from Greece, they would probably all say the same thing, that managing time and dealing with time has been a problem since the beginning of time. Now, for you and I, in our business, the question becomes, what are the most effective strategies? How do we manage our life, move things forward, keep our business growing, do the things that matter, right? Do it ideally at the right time that matters, and also deal with the 8 million things that are coming at us every single day. That's really what I want to cover. So here's what I wrote down. What I know about this business is it really is simply this. It's marketing and appointment setting at the top. Like, if that doesn't happen, what happens in your business? You don't have a business. So if every day there isn't marketing and appointment setting, pushing my brand out, trying to get my tribe, right, to message or respond or react or do something with what I'm putting out, making phone calls, sending text messages, sending out emails, smoke signals, the whole 9 yards. If I'm not doing that, you're not in business. Make sense? From there, every day it's about nurturing and following up. I've established the relationship, we've connected, we're texting, you were an online lead, you're a referral, I met you through a virtual open house, whatever, however. But if I don't nurture and follow up, we know this is the cardinal sin. We know this is where the vast majority of consumers get upset. Oh, we met, and then, they never say I ghosted you, but we know they did that, but you didn't follow up. And today we celebrate clients that follow up and help clients that they generated 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago. We celebrate that because we recognize all of this business is about nurturing and following up, establishing trust, maintaining trust, whether it takes 2 days or 20 years, right? Marketing and appointment setting, nurturing and following up. The third one is going on appointments and converting, right? If I opened up your phone right now and I said, just show me this week, how many times am I going to see an appointment, a buyer, a seller, a meeting, etc.? Not going to the closing table, virtually or not, to get the transaction done. The act of meeting with a potential buyer, meeting with a potential seller, sitting down in a safe place or via Zoom to talk about getting them ready to go. How many times am I going to see that in your calendar? Now you're saying, but Tom, that's the problem. I'm so busy doing everything else. I understand. Let's go back to it again. This business is about marketing and appointment setting. It's about nurturing and follow-up. It's about going on appointments and converting, and it's about servicing and closing transactions. That's it. That's the business. Only for the last 31 years that I've been in it, right? Now, obviously, tech changes, right? The way we communicate changes, but we all still have to do that. So if I just stopped you right there and said, open up your calendar and show me in your phone, or maybe you have one of these, I don't know. Show me where I'd find all of that in your calendar. Now, I've been doing this with a few clients, right? And not my personal clients, but just people I'm talking to. I'm like, just show me. Pick up your phone right now and show me what's inside there. And you know what I see? A whole lot of nothing. And then I say, well, how could you possibly say, Tom, I'm dealing with all these distractions. I've got all these issues. I've got all these problems. I've got all these, everybody's pulling at me every single day. And you're not doing the most basic of activities, which is to create your list of things you have to do every day and then put it into your calendar in time blocks, starting with your daily action checklist, which we're going to cover in a minute, then the ideal time blocks of the day, and then that list that you wake up and say, oh my goodness, I forgot, I gotta, and everything else. Does that make sense? So let's go through it together. The first thing that I recommend for people is, I created many years ago, because of a client wildly successful, by the way. Sandy Andrew, she was on the original top 100 agents from Real Trends going way back in the day. She was number 100 on that list. For a few years prior to getting to me, she'd always set this really big ambitious goal. She wrote an incredible business plan, but then like most people simply just got lost in the prioritization, time, what should I do first, what should I do second, etc. So I say, hey, let's have a session. We go through and I look at her business plan. It's spectacular. We look at her marketing plan. It's fantastic. And then I asked her one question. If you push everything aside, what are the 4 to 7 most important things you have to do on a daily or weekly basis that not only give you the certainty in your business, certainty as in like, I know every time I X, I get Y. I know every time I A, I get B. Certainty. What are the 4 to 7 things you have to do on a daily basis that absolutely give you the certainty that you're going to move the needle and move your business forward? And she goes, this. And she gave me her list. And I said, all right, so let's just start there. You want to get control of your time? The first thing is you got to get control of what are your priorities every single day? What moves the needle for you? So I gave you a couple things to consider, a couple things on my list. Number 1 is take your meds, right? Every day. Meditate, exercise, diet, sleep. Now, obviously, you're going to eat, I hope. You're going to sleep later. Meditate and exercise. We know by slowing down and getting that connection, right? By just taking 7, 8, 10, 15, 20 minutes and just slowing down your brain, everybody understands the science of it. Is it on your daily action checklist? Yes, I did it. No, I didn't. Number 2 is data. I've been talking about market intelligence nonstop for the last 90 days. That every day you're looking inside the MLS, you're looking at the interest rates, you're looking at the trends, you're looking at what's going on so you can create certainty around your knowledge of the market. You with me? Check, got it done. Number 3, I want to review my schedule. Now that implies that you've already got some time blocks inside there. We're going to cover that in a minute. And what are you going to do? Right? You're going to create that list of all those things you need to follow up on, right? Oh, I know I got to do this and I got to do that. And you list it all out, but here's the hook. When I'm reviewing my schedule, I'm looking, okay, what appointments do I already have, right? Do I have an inspection here? Do I have a closing here? Like, what do I already have going on? And then what are those existing 5 blocks, which I'm going to give you in a minute? They're going to be inside my calendar. And then the list goes into the blocks. You don't have a list and run around with a list of things you're going to follow up on and have a schedule. The list of like, oh, I got to follow up on this. I got to make sure I do this. Oh, I forgot I needed to do this. Oh, I was requested this. All that goes into the blocks, taking control of your time. I'm going to cover it more in depth. Stay with me. Number 4 on my list is scheduling appointments. If in your daily action checklist, the daily actions I need to take to move the needle, to grow my business, to create certainty, to have my life move forward under my control, if you don't have booking appointments, following up, prospecting, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it appointment setting time because it's a better mindset. You with me? That's my focus. It isn't to call people or to text people. It's to schedule appointments with people I like that want to move forward, that I can help, that are qualified, etc. Make sense? If that's not in your schedule, if that isn't in your daily actions, I don't know if I can help you. Or I would challenge and say, are you really committed to this business? Are you really committed to this business? Because if you are, it's in your calendar. It's in your schedule. You know it's a priority. It is the engine that drives this business. Then, number 5 on my list, go on appointments. Yes, if it's on your calendar. Now, can you always get the buyer and seller to maximize their time around your schedule? If you lead generate enough and market enough, you have a better shot at it. If you don't, you're going to be whipped around by the buyer and seller, and they're not trying to whip you around. They're in control because you have too much free time and not enough clients. You know that's the game. So you're going to go on appointments, and then guess what? I wrote down 2 to 4 social posts because we need to create content every day to stay top of mind, right? To continue to attract our tribe, right? Based upon our vibe, as we've talked about. So let's just start there. What if just for the next 90 to 120 days, heck, 30 days, you said, here are all the things I know move the needle in my business and keep me moving forward. And when I do these, I create certainty. Like I have less uncertainty. Wow, I'm generating business. I'm generating opportunities. I'm getting more Zoom face-to-face meetings. I have another showing appointment. Like the future's looking brighter because I'm doing the things that give me the power. And I'm checking it off my list every single day. Maybe on an Excel spreadsheet, maybe on Google, maybe you handwrite it out. I don't care. What I know is, if you're feeling whipped by time, it's because you don't have one of these. That's the first one. Second one on my list, time blocking. Old as dirt, gets talked about a ton. I'm a huge fan. If you looked at my calendar, everything, even by days, is time blocked, right? Monday's a coaching day as an example, right? Tuesday's a filming day. I've got everything in my calendar by my design, and that's what I want you to do as well. Generally speaking, there's 5 blocks. Your morning routine, right? That, 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, whatever time you get up. But then that's when you do your meds, right? That's when you take the dog for a walk. That's when you read a little bit, you pop on something positive, you get yourself sort of, emotionally charged to go out and do what we have to do every day. The second block is generation, right? And that could be doing marketing, that could be appointment setting, that could be a combination of the two, but we got to generate every single day. And that should be a block of time. And we know if it's about appointment setting, 9 to 11 and 4 to 6 are the two most optimal times. 9 to 11 and 4 to 6. So I'm going to have that in my schedule, block of time, 9 to 11. Follow up on every lead, go into my CRM, make sure I'm talking to customers, make sure I'm reaching out, doing what we know we have to do. Then I've got creation, right, from 11 to 1. I believe if it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist. So what do I want from 11 to 1? Maybe that's when I'm creating all my content. Maybe that's when I'm shooting my videos. Maybe that's just when I'm creating new relationships and going to lunch with someone. It's creation time. Make sense? Then I wrote down convert and service. From 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, the entire afternoon, going on appointments, converting, right? Servicing customers, taking care of clients, doing the things you have to do to keep the relationships right and the transactions on pace to close, to get done, and of course, get new ones. Converting and service 1 to 5. And then here's one that a lot of people miss, rejuvenation. When you go as hard as we go, right? Battling off the distractions, battling off all the, the people that are trying to, you're not really gonna get on the phone today, are you? Think you know what's going on, right? Like, dealing with all that every day, I'm gonna challenge you, you need some rejuvenation in your calendar. And whether that's a date night, or the fact that you stop and you slow down and you make dinner, right? Or it's reading a book to your daughter or your son, something that brings some energy back to your soul because you've been giving all day long. Make sense? So, what's your time blocking look like? I'm giving you ideas that I know work for me and work for others, but what does it look like for you? Yeah, you got Tuesday's your office meeting, and Wednesday you got this training, and Monday through Friday you got Pivot with me, right? So is all that in your calendar, right? Is all that in your calendar, or are you waking up every day like this? What's gonna happen next? How am I gonna respond to the emails, the text, the social, and everything else happening in the world? If you're doing that, you're already in trouble. Go back to the daily action checklist, then look at the time blocking, and then let's just cover lists for a minute. Now, I'm not gonna argue with the people that say, well, I get up in the morning and I write out everything I'm supposed to do, and I got my list, and I got, the people I gotta follow up, and I gotta take the car in, and then, I gotta make sure I organize my son's college books, I got that on my list, and you know what I'm saying. I went business, personal, family, all on one list? That sounds pretty confusing, doesn't it? Which one gets your attention? Which one gets your priority? You and I both know the answer is the easiest one is usually the case. And let me ask you, when was the last time the easiest one made you money? When was the last time the easiest one actually moved your, I got Tristan behind the camera like nodding, like right, cleaning out my, closet doesn't do me the same as creating another video that helps me sell more Super 73s, right? Like do the hard stuff. But what happens is we get in this list building activity so we can feel good that we checked off a whole bunch of stuff, but did it move the needle? Did it move the needle? That's why I go back to the daily action checklist. The only things that go on there are the things that move the needle in your business. The rest of the stuff on the list, my note for you is, question, are any of those tasks transaction related? And if they are, why aren't you just using a transaction software that gives you everything you're supposed to do on the day you're supposed to do it? So instead of having to remember, you just go to the system. And then I wrote down, is any of that stuff client follow-up related? If that's the case, why not live inside your CRM like we've talked about before? By living inside your CRM, you don't have to rely on memory. Sure, you might say, oh, I ran into that person and I made a note. But if you ran into that person, why not just make a note in your CRM and tag it to say, follow up with text, shoot them a video, put out a personal note to them, whatever it may be, because that's what a CRM is for. Does that make sense? So I want to just challenge you. I understand culturally why we've always turned to this list. I just don't understand why at this point in this world, in this business, we're still writing things that are relationship-based or transactional on your list when it should be inside the software that we use to run our business. Does that make sense? So everything else on the list, here's what I wrote down. Everything else should then be grouped into those time blocks, right? So I got to follow up on this for my kids. That goes under rejuvenation and family. And if you really look at the way I kind of organize time blocks, I'm giving myself an hour here, an hour there, 30 minutes here. It's not all entirely scheduled because I need some flexibility, as we all do. So that's what I want you to think about. It's taking all the things that you'd put on that list and getting them into your time block. So you're still in control, following your calendar, doing the best you can to move the business forward and not being distracted by the list. Does that make sense? So I know I covered a lot of ground and I went through a lot, but hey, we're here in the month of June, right? There's a lot of stuff happening in the world right now, as we both know. And what I know is this: we need to focus on what we can control. And what you can control is your daily action checklist to take care of your business, to move things forward, time blocking, to have a better shot at controlling the day. And when it comes to that list, those things that are transactional in CRM, get them into the software. Everything else, get them into the time blocking and watch what happens. You're gonna have a lot more control, which means a lot more certainty. And with a lot more certainty, you have a lot more power. And that's what I want for you. I can't wait to see the comments. Remember always, your strategy matters, and now more than ever, your ability to control your time is what rules the day.